Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 9, Unit 8, The Celestial Maidens, the Report, Might, and Life. What participants should have read before this session, participants should have read Súrahs 29, 30, 31, and 32 of the Qayyumu'l-Asma. They should also have reviewed the Unit 7 summary from Session 8, especially the seal, the solution lights, the relatives, the rent garment, the witness from the household, the Báb's family setting, and the movement from hidden mission into social recognition. The goal of this session is to see how the mission moves from household witness into heavenly proclamation. Revealed report, hidden might, direct encounter, and living sacrifice. In Súrahs 25 through 28, Joseph's innocence was sealed. The torn garment became proof, testimony became light, and the revelation entered the Báb's own household and relatives. In Súrahs 29 through 32, the field opens wider. The rent garment is recognized, beauty descends from paradise. The revealed cause becomes report and demands response. The women of the city speak concerning Joseph. The hidden might of the servant is disclosed. Then the women behold Joseph directly. Living form appears through the threefold and fourfold, and the movement culminates in blood, patience, Áshúrá, and Ḥusayn. In this session, the book teaches how revelation moves from proof into heavenly witness, from witness into report and response, from public judgment into hidden divine authority, and from encounter into form and sacrifice. The maiden descends and bears witness to the Arabian youth. The report makes the cause known and calls for recognition. Might unveils the station of the servant behind the judgment of the city. Life begins with direct encounter, then gathers the structure of the book into revealed form and carries that form into the sea of thick blood and the patience of Ḥusayn. Súrahs 29 through 32, the Celestial Maidens, the Report, Might, and Life. The purpose of this unit, Unit 8 carries the story from visible proof into the power of proclamation. Unit 7 ended with the garment test, household witness, and the proof of Joseph's truthfulness. Unit 8 begins when the Lord of the house sees that the shirt has been rent from behind and recognizes the conniving. The sign has spoken, and the accusation has begun to collapse. Yet proof does not end the drama. It opens another field. The people of Persia are addressed. The believers are taught how to approach the house of the Báb. They are commanded not to raise their voices above the voice of their remembrance, not to enter without leave, nor to outpace his steps, and not to conceal the truth in his presence. The mission now requires etiquette, measure, purification, and discipline nearness. Then the celestial maiden descends. She comes from the chambers of paradise, appears upon the earth, and bears witness to the Arabian youth. Through her, heavenly beauty becomes proclamation. Paradise itself longs for the one slain in his path. What first appeared as Joseph's garment and household proof now opens into a celestial witness of the youth, the gate, the remnant of God, the living and the most mighty name. The report then carries the movement into revealed knowledge and response. The surah begins with Joseph commanded to turn aside and the woman commanded to seek forgiveness. From there, the sign, cause, book, gate, knowledge, judgment, and obedience come forward. The question is no longer merely what happened within the household. The cause has been made known. What will the people do with the report that has reached them? Might then carries the Joseph story into public speech. The women of the city speak concerning the wife of the Aziz, and Joseph judging from a distance. Yet the surah answers their judgment by revealing the hidden station of the servant. No veil stands between him and God. He is mentioned within the mother book. His cause is mighty, and he is clothed in the robe of majesty as a divine witness. Life brings speech into direct encounter. The women are summoned, knives are placed in their hands. Joseph appears, and ordinary measure collapses before what they behold. From that encounter, the book moves into the sixfold temple within the threefold, and the threefold form within the fourfold figure. Movement then passes into the sea of thick blood, decree, patience, the blood of the self, Áshúrá, and Ḥusayn. These four surahs may be approached as one movement. Surah 29, the Celestial Maidens, begins with when the rent garment proves that the accusation against Joseph has collapsed. The surah turns from proof to etiquette around the house of the Báb, then opens into the descent of the maiden from paradise and her proclamation of the Arabian Youth. Hello, Peggy, welcome. Surah 30, the report moves from the aftermath of the household accusation into sign, cause, book, gate, knowledge, judgment, and response. The revealed cause has become something the people must recognize, obey, assist, and convey. Surah 31, might, begins when the women of the city speaking concerning Joseph. Their public judgment opens into veil, divine nearness, appointment, witness, the mother book, the robe of majesty, and the authority of the remembrance. Surah 32, life, brings the women from speech into direct encounter with Joseph. Their astonishment opens into a revealed form, then into the sea of thick blood, decree, patience, Áshúrá, and Ḥusayn. This unit marks the passage from proof into proclamation and encounter. The garment has spoken, the maiden descends, and the report is given. The city speaks, might is unveiled, Joseph is beheld, living form appears, and blood bears witness. There's a fourfold lens chart here. It has the four surahs on it and a governing movement and the central question raised by each. The Celestial Maidens, heavenly beauty descends and bears witness to the Arabian Youth. How does beauty become proclamation? Surah 30, the report, the revealed sign, cause, book, and gate become known and demand response. What does the report require of those who receive it? In Surah 31, might, public judgment opens into veil, defined appointment, witness, and authority. How is the hidden might of the servant disclosed? In Surah 32, life, direct encounter opens into revealed form, blood, patience, and sacrifice. How does life take form through encounter and witness? The four guiding lenses for Unit 8. The first unit gave the pattern openly through kingship, clerics, faith, and city. Unit 2 carried it through Joseph, testimony, visitation, and mystery. Unit 3 carried through cloud, plot, parallel, and atonement. Unit 4 raised the descent through paradise, holiness, divine purpose, and throne. And Unit 5 began the movement out of concealment through gate, path, Sinai, and light. Unit 6 opened a new creation through sea, water, passing time, and destiny. And Unit 7 carried the mission outward through seal, solution, lights, and relatives. Unit 8 now carries the mission through the Celestial Maidens, report, might, and life. Celestial Maidens ask, how does heavenly beauty descend into proclamation? Report asks, what does the revealed cause require once it has been made known? Might asks, how does the divine appointment overturn judgment made from outside the veil? Life asks, how does direct encounter become revealed form through blood, patience, and sacrifice? The maiden gives heavenly witness to the Arabian Youth. The report places the cause before the hearer. Might answers the city's judgment by unveiling the hidden station of the servant. Life brings women into direct encounter and gathers form. Blood, decree, and Ḥusayn into one field of witness. Sandra, would you like to read reading lens 1?
Sure. Reading lens 1, beauty, speech, and living witness. Main idea. The governing movement of Unit 8 is the movement from proof into proclamation, recognition, encounter, and witness. Unit 7 established Joseph's innocence through the garment, the witness, and the household sign. Unit 8 begins after that sign has been read. The sign does not end the movement, it releases it. Surah 29 carries the proof into sacred etiquette and heavenly proclamation. Surah 30 turns the revealed cause into a report that must be recognized and answered. Surah 31 introduces the speech of the women of the city, then unveils the hidden might of the servant whom they judge from outside. Surah 32 brings them into direct encounter with Joseph and carries that encounter into revealed form, blood, patience, and Ḥusayn. Beauty therefore changes function across the unit. In Surah 29, it descends from paradise as witness. In Surah 31, Joseph becomes the object of public speech. In Surah 32, he is actually beheld, and ordinary human measure gives way. Key themes. The proof of the garment opens a larger field of revelation. Heavenly beauty becomes proclamation. The report makes the cause known and demands response. Public judgment begins before direct encounter. Might reveals the hidden station of the servant. Direct encounter overturns ordinary measure. Life carries encounter into structure, blood, patience, and sacrifice. For the reader, Unit 8 should be heard as a movement outward. Proof becomes proclamation. Proclamation becomes responsibility. Public speech encounters hidden authority. Finally, what was spoken about from a distance is beheld directly, and the book carries that encounter into blood and sacrifice. Reading question. How does Unit 8 move from proof into proclamation, recognition, and direct encounter?
Hey, you want to go ahead and continue with reading lens 2?
Sure. Reading lens 2, the Celestial Maidens and the Descent of Beauty. Main idea. Surah 29 begins from the recognition that Joseph's shirt was rent from behind. The sign has vindicated him. But the surah does not remain at the level of household proof. It immediately moves into the Báb's world. Persia is addressed, the faithful are warned concerning the property and house of the remembrance, and the etiquette of approach is given. This matters because beauty must be approached rightly. The house of the Báb is not entered casually. The voice of the remembrance is not outshouted. His steps are not outpaced. His assembly is not treated as ordinary space. The nearness opened in Unit 7 must now become reverence. Then the Celestial Maiden appears. She descends from her chamber, veiled and adorned, and bears witness to the Arabian Youth. Her proclamation gathers paradise around him. She speaks of Baha, the living, the most mighty name, the cold mountain, the even line, the gate, and the remnant of God. Paradise itself longs for the soul slain in his path. The title of the surah therefore enters the action. The maiden is not decoration. She is heavenly witness. She makes beauty speak. Through her, paradise announces the station of the youth before the earthly world knows how to receive him. Key themes. The rent garment proves Joseph's truthfulness and exposes conniving. The people of Persia are summoned around the most great remembrance. Approach to the house of the Báb requires permission, purification, and reverence. The faithful must not raise their voices above the voice of the remembrance. The Celestial Maiden descends from paradise and bears witness to the Arabian Youth. Beauty becomes proclamation, and paradise longs for the one slain in his path. Arabic watchwords. Hurriya, Celestial Maiden, Heavenly Beauty, Paradise Witness. Baha, Glory, Splendor, Radiance. Ghulam Arabi, Arabian Youth, Youthful, Revelatory Figure. Bayat, House, Sacred Dwelling, Field of Approach. Idin, Leave, Permission, Divine Authorization. Sot, Voice, Sound, Audible, Authority. Bakiyatullah, Remnant of God.
Fiatullah.
Remnant of God, sacred remaining presence. For the reader, the maiden teaches that beauty can be a form of testimony. She descends from paradise not to distract from the youth, but to proclaim him. The heavenly witness of paradise is followed by the report where the revealed cause must pass into knowledge, judgment, response, and transmission. How does the descent of the celestial maiden turn beauty into witness?
Okay, so the Celestial Maiden. Okay, I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. Okay, when he observed that his shirt had been rent from behind, he said, this is the Lord of the house now who's saying this. When he observed that his shirt had been rent from behind, he said, this is of your conniving. Verily, your conniving is relentless. O people of Persia. Now, this is the address for the people of Persia that was mentioned in the lens. O people of Persia, hath not this mighty honor vouchsafed unto your very own souls from the most great remembrance sufficed you? For God hath indeed chosen you through that most great word. So disperse not from around him. For by God he is the true one from God, and he is the most exalted, who hath ever been within the mother book, all wise. O ye faithful ones, approach not the property of their remembrance, save by his leave, and measure with the most proper balance. That is the right of this most great gate. For God hath ever been powerful over all things, and hesitate not, even for the twinkling of an eye, concerning the cause, for we shall in very truth question you concerning hearing, sight, and matters of the inmost heart. For verily the command of God from the remembrance hath been irrevocably ordained within the mother book. O ye faithful ones, God hath forbidden that ye enter houses without the leave of their owners. Wherefore enter not the house of the Báb save by his leave. Be ye mindful of God, and turn in repentance unto him in accordance with the truth, rendering sincere devotion unto him. O ye faithful ones, call not unto the remembrance from behind his house, for that is an offense within the book of God. Yet ye know not from the knowledge of the book, save some isolated letters. O ye faithful ones, raise not your voices above the voice of their remembrance, nor walk nigh unto him save by his leave unto you, nor outpace his steps, nor murmur privily in his assembly. For verily all such is blameworthy in the estimation of God, your cherished Lord, according to that which God hath decreed within his well-guarded book. O people of the earth, hold fast unto the cord of God that can never be severed, our remembrance, this Arabian youth, enshrined within the point of ice upon the oceans of fire. Make mention in his company of the blessings of God upon you by his leave, and conceal not the truth in his presence. For ye know not, but verily God knoweth whatsoever is within the heavens and upon the earth, and whatsoever ye obscure, and whatsoever ye disclose. For he is God, your cherished Lord, who hath ever encompassed all the worlds. O ye faithful ones, God hath indeed ordained that ye enter not upon our devoted servant, save by his leave, after ye have purified yourselves in very truth, and stood at the threshold of the gate, magnifying the Lord your God, as befitteth the truth, 110 times. Yea, verily God hath decreed for those who turn away from our decree the infernal fire of hell. For the chastisement of God within the mother book is assuredly, in accordance with the truth, most grievous indeed. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna verse 19 and 20. Bill, do you want to read verses 19 and 20?
Okay, sure. Let me see where. I don't know if I can see it at this point, though. I see 13 and it goes down, but I don't. I think I need to go further down.
13.
Yeah. Oh, people of the throne. You said 19 and 20. I'm not there. I'm still not there.
Hmm.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, people. Yeah, I can see it now. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
people of the earth. By the one true God, I am the Huri, begotten by Baha, within a palace wrought for the most vibrant ruby. By the one, let me see, we switch, let me see. one it switched too fast. I'm sorry. I need to go back a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I think it was slow.
Yeah,
The
by
connection
the
is
one,
slow.
sorry, by the one true God, I beheld not within the most great paradise, save that it proclaimed the remembrance and praise of this youth, this Arabian youth. Verily, your Lord is the most glorious. There is none other God except him. Wherefore, magnify ye his station by the leave of God. For lo, he is stationed in the very midst of the garden of paradise, embodying the glorifications of God within the temple of exaltation. At times, I hear his voice proclaiming the living, the self subsisting, while at other times declaring the mystery of his most mighty name. Whatsoever he extolleth, the magnifications of God, uh, all of paradise uh, ariseth, longing for his encounter, and whatsoever um, he celebrateth the glorifications of God, all of paradise falleth silent, like snow upon. I know it's. Okay. Uh, and self. I'm kind of lost. When I want to read further, it doesn't go exactly where it
Yeah.
needs to. So I'm not quite sure where I am. Let me see.
Okay, you were right here. And whensoever he celebrateth the glorifications of God, all of paradise falleth silent, like snow upon the crest of an icy mountain. Lo, it
Okay.
is as you see it.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Lo, it is as though I beheld him moving upon the great circle of the earth, every garden his garden, every heaven his heaven, while every land and all that is therein appeareth as but a ring in the hand of his devoted servants. Glorified be God, his creator, sovereign of the ancient throne. Yet verily he is but the servant of God and the gate of the remnant of God, your cherished Lord. Aspire then unto striving in his path, as beseemeth the upright truth. Verily I and all who dwell within paradise, by the most great truth, long for the soul which hath been, let me see, long for the soul. Let me see.
Where we get lost at.
See.
Long for the soul right here, who had been slain in his path.
Okay. For God hath ever been watchful over all that ye do. O solace of mine eye, allow her to remove her coarse garments and adorn herself once again with her raiment within her chamber. For behold, the dwellers of heaven crave to inhale the fragrance of her hair, bound beneath her veil. For God hath ever been merciful unto his faithfully devoted servants, as befitteth the truth. Return then unto the holy
That's good right
place.
there. Right there
Okay.
on at the end of at 20. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so you see how he's calling out to the maidens of paradise, particularly this maiden. And the course of the surah now is it's circling out into the world. You can see clearly that he's laying down some laws or some customs, especially through the verses that we read above, about keeping your voice down or not trying to outpace him and whatnot. Okay, so we see how this surah opens up the wider field into the into the faithful.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Uh,
Is this the part that talks about the huri
mhm.
uh, and what is that? The pure ones is how I heard it said, and that it, before I became a Baha'i, I had learned wrongly that Muslims men thought that when they died, they would be surrounded by virgin women who would take care of them or give them whatever. And is that a corruption of this term, which is purely spiritual and not sexual?
Yeah, a houri is a is is like a nymph of paradise.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is that really is that an interpretation? I mean, Baha'u'llah, I think, talks about it, and the pure ones, it has to do with like spiritual, the beauty of like spiritual concept. It's not meant in a,
meaning, yeah, spiritual meanings, but there's more to relations to because it's the really the relations is in the similar number that's used. So it is 72. And what's always been referenced as 72 is the nations, ever since the beginning from Noah.
And didn't Baha'u'llah say that every scripture has 72 meanings?
Has 72 meanings.
Yeah. So
Right.
That's interesting as well, because it's all about the
Right.
meanings of these beautiful verses.
Right. Right. It is the verses themselves that are the huris and the creative
Right.
power that they possess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what creates the nations.
Mm-hmm. So where in Islam did this idea come that when a man dies,
Because
if he's faithful?
just because any reference to paradise is always going to refer to something that is enjoyable, something that and the same is with hellfire, to things that are of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So,
just seems like
it has to be relative to if we don't promise you something good, what are you going to fight for?
It just seems like a human-made corruption doesn't do justice to the true
I
meaning.
mean, it's not a corruption. It's just the indulgence, the overindulgence is the corruption, because that you see. I've told you before about those who join partners with God. It's more about indulgence. And Baha'u'llah defines this more in the in the Tablet of All Food. He gives you a direct, more definition of those who are the mushrikeen, or those who indulge, or those the polytheists or the idolaters. Okay. But the thing is that they're inclined to join partners with something, so they want something in return.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's about a greedy satisfaction. And it doesn't have to do with women.
Right.
Okay?
I mean,
but
even
to
though
appeal to the appetite of the male, like a dog, it is made out to be that way. So I mean, but these are high examples. God is, in the Quran, it says God is not shy away from using the highest example or the lowest example. Okay. So he is the highest and the lowest. So do you think he can speak well to you? He can also speak bad to you. The worst. You think anybody around here speaks bad?
Well, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I hope that helps, though. It is a referential language. So, yeah. Okay. So, reading lens 3. Peggy, are you able to get on here?
I went on Beyond the Veil.
Uh-huh.
And I see a table of contents in front of me.
Oh, okay. The materials are in the right here in the where you go to the session, and then you see the class materials here. If you click on that, they'll open up.
Class materials.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't see that anywhere.
It sounds like you're on our homepage. So go to Temple.
Yeah, you're in the translations one. You need to go to the Temple.
Okay.
And then activities. Go to the activities, and then you'll see.
Okay, activities, got it.
Okay, and then you'll see this page here.
Okay.
And hit session recordings and study materials.
Session recordings and study materials. Got it.
And that has all the sessions that we're doing. We're actually in session 9 now here. So if you click on 9, it'll have
Okay.
the class materials for session 9.
Okay.
If you
Yes.
just click on that, then it'll open up. And we are on page we're on this page of that. Reading Lens 3.
Array of Celestial Maidens.
Yes, it is the Celestial Maidens one.
Okay. Got it.
If you can scroll down to that page where it says Reading Lens 3, the report and the trial of speech.
What page is that?
It should be
130.
it should be page 4. Is it on page 4?
My pages start at 135.
Oh, I see. You're looking at the translation then, right? Okay. You clicked on the red read chapters. Go back one page to the to that session 9 page again.
Back one.
And then you see the class materials one? The green, it's green.
Oh, I see. Read chapters 29 to
Right, above that. Above that, it says class materials, the Celestial
Oh.
Maidens. Click on the green
Oh.
one.
Okay, I did.
Okay, and then that is the class materials. That's what we're reading from.
Okay.
And then if you can go to page 4 of that,
Page 4.
it'll say Reading Lens 3, the report and the trial of speech.
Trial of speech. Okay, I found it, and I'm so sorry to keep you
Oh.
from your class.
No, it's no problem. If you want to read that, you can read down to where it says reading question,
All right.
and then we'll read part of Surah 30.
Okay.
Okay.
So Reading Lens 3, the report and the trial of speech. Main idea. The Surah 30 bears the title report, but its report is not yet the speech of the women of the city. The Surah begins with Joseph commanded to turn aside from what has occurred, and the woman commanded to seek forgiveness. From that threshold, the book turns immediately towards the sign of the Lord, the revealed cause, the creator, the book, the gate, knowledge, judgment, and obedience. The report, therefore, concerns what has now been made known. The cause has been revealed amidst the people so that they may become acquainted with their creator. The book has been given to the devoted servant so that he may judge through it. Knowledge is written upon the pathways of the gate. The remembrance is made to prevail over the cause, and the people are required to respond to what has reached them. Speech remains important, but here it is revealed speech and the transmission of the cause rather than social rumor. What will the people do with the report that God has placed among them? Will they recognize, assist, obey, and convey it? Or will they doubt, resist, and turn away? The Surah closes by returning to Joseph and the original command to turn aside. Now, with Joseph addressed as the most great gate, the report has passed through revelation, judgment, and response before returning to the Josephine scene. Key themes. The report begins from the aftermath of the household accusation. The sign and the cause have been revealed so that the people may know their creator. The book becomes the means of judgment. Knowledge and recognition gather around the gate. The remembrance is appointed to prevail over the cause. Hearing the report requires response, obedience, and assistance. The closing return to Joseph gathers the Surah back into its opening scene. Arabic watchwords. Kabar Naba reports news transmitted account. Aya sign revealed token. Amar cause command. Kitab book revealed record. Báb gate sacred point of approach. Dahkar remembrance. And then for the reader, the report is not simply information about Joseph. It is the revealed cause entering human knowledge and requiring response. The question is what the hearer does once the sign, book, gate, and cause have been made known. Reading question. What does Súrah 30 require of those to whom the report of the cause has come?
Thank you. Okay, so Surah 30 will be on page 142 of that translation that you had opened. Okay, Sandra, would you like to read verses 1 through 4?
Yes. O Joseph, turn aside from this, and thou implore forgiveness for thy sin, for verily thou hast been amongst the wrongdoers. Aleph Lam Mim Ein. Mention the sign of thy Lord from one oft forgiving, whose mercy hath safeguarded all things, for God hath ever been self-sufficient above all the worlds. Yea, verily, we have revealed the cause amidst you, that ye may become acquainted with your Creator, the one who fashioned you and those before you. And never shall ye find any alteration in the faith of the one true God and very truth.
Okay, and then also 24 through 27.
24 through 27. Reject ye not some of the book and have faith in another. Whosoever rejecteth faith after this gate, we have indeed rendered judgment against them with the most severe penalty by the irrevocable decree of the book. Be ye mindful of God, O devoted servants of God, concerning the justice of your Lord, the most gracious, on the day when the balance shall be set before us in accordance with the truth in perfect equity. Whosoever has faith in God, his books, his messengers, and his signs, making no distinction between any of his signs, shall indeed be secure from the most great terror, and shall enter the garden by the very essence of the truth, with naught to reckon with. Be ye patient, O devoted servants of God, for verily God is ever with you as a watcher. God hath made our cause but a single cause, like the twinkling of an eye, for verily he is nearer than the glance of sight. God hath made our cause not else but as the command of the calf and the word of the beginning. For lo, God hath ever been powerful over all things.
Okay, and then continue on through verse 32. I'm sorry.
What aileth you? Do ye not ponder the origination of your very own selves, and upon the horizons, wonders upon wonders, with even a simple glimpse into reality? Yet it is but a morsel which ye possess for your own selves, as befitteth the truth. Yea, verily, we have caused a sign from our devoted servant to be enshrined within all things, in accordance with the truth, around the gate, that the people may know that God is indeed the true one. There is none other God except him. For God hath ever encompassed all the worlds. O devoted servants of God, convey ye the cause of God unto whomsoever is nigh unto the threshold of the gate amidst you, unto whomsoever holdeth fast unto the covenant of God around the gate. O devoted servants of the most gracious, commemorate God your Creator as beseemeth the most great truth from around the threshold of the gate, and follow not your vain desires after the truth hath come unto you from your Lord within this book, as beseemeth the most great word. For verily on the day of decision ye shall be held to account around the fire.
Okay, and then 39 through 42 to finish out this surah, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. O Joseph, O most great gate, turn aside from this tree that hath been cast forth through the gate upon earth, bereft of the truth, and say unto it, implore forgiveness for thy sin, for verily I beheld thee within the mother book, recorded amongst the people of disobedience, nigh unto the fire. Whosoever obeyeth God and his word hath, in very truth, attained unto a most bounteous grace. And whosoever disobeyeth God and his gate hath surely strayed far, terribly far away. O people of the throne, hearken unto my call from this purified bird, soaring within the firmament of the clouds. For lo, verily he is endowed with a knowledge befitting the knowledge of the book.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we see here in this surah the report, which can also mean proclamation. It's kind of proclamatory. The purpose is to draw us into a relationship with the Creator. We are created to as it said, we were created to what verse was that? 1 through 4. We were created to that we could get acquainted with the Creator, get to know God, and then also it repeated that again in these verses. This one we just read, 28 through 32. I think it was one of these. Okay, so that he revealed the book so that we would know that God is indeed the truth, or the true one. Okay, so and these it's tying it in with these verses with the man of the house accusing Joseph of doing wrong, and at the same time asking him to forgive, the woman, his wife, who did wrong, who was actually the one who did wrong. So the question is, what was it Joseph did that was, even the verse from the Quran, the man of the house tells him, you've been among the wrongdoers. And I don't see any particular wrongdoing on Joseph's part yet in this.
Yeah, I don't think Joseph did anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't think even in the Bible story, I don't think he did, because comparable to Jesus, he's the only other one that's not accused of a sin. So, but I think that the point is that was made in a previous verse, possibly that Joseph would have desired her, had he not seen the sign of his Lord. So it opens up a possibility to Joseph desiring the woman. But when we get into this next surah, we're going to see a little bit more. I had mentioned in the last unit about something about the women, and I think it comes out in this next surah. Really is what I was getting at. So I think some of that will come out into that, because some of it is about Joseph. He's accusing him of doing wrong, and he's about to be thrown in prison. And then it says something either in this next surah or surah 32, I don't recall which, but specifically about Joseph being put in prison, and for the reason why he's put in prison. So so I think we're going to get into it. I think some of those questions can be answered in these following surahs. Okay, so Bill, would you like to read Reading Lens 4? Oh, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
There we go.
There you go.
Reading lens 4, might, veil, and divine authority. Main ideas. Surah 31 begins with the woman of the city, when the women of the city speak concerning the wife of the Aziz and Joseph. The Joseph story has now entered public speech. Love has pierced her heart, and the woman judge her to be in manifest error. But the surah does not yet bring them before Joseph. Instead, their judgment opens a deeper question. What can be known about the hidden station of the servant? The book declares that no hidden veil stands between God and his devoted servant. He is mentioned within the mother book before day or age, and the cause itself is appointed mighty therein. The surah then unfolds that might through divine appointment. The servant is given knowledge that his childhood appointed over the worlds, clothed in a vesture from the garments of the beginning, established at the point of the seal, and clothed with the robe of majesty, so that he might bear witness of God unto the people. Might, therefore, does not appear primarily as outward force. It appears as nearness, appointment, witness, authority, and the station given to the remembrance of God. The women speak from what they can see from outside. The surah answers by unveiling a station they cannot yet measure. Key themes. The women of the city speak concerning Joseph. Public judgment stands outside the hidden reality of the servant. No hidden veil stands between God and his devoted servant. The servant is mentioned within the mother book before a day or age. The cause is appointed mighty. The servant is clothed in a sacred vesture and robe of majesty. Divine might appears through sorry. Oh, sorry. The servant is clothed in sacred vesture and robe of majesty. Divine might appears through appointment, witness, and authority. Is might, glory, authority, hijab, veil, covering, abd, servant, sacred station of servitude. Amr, I'm sorry,
You're doing fine.
no, wait a minute. Let me see. Kitab, book, revealed record, Rida, robe, vesture, and Zikr, remembrance. For the reader, the women speak confidently about Joseph before they have encountered him. Surah 31 answers their judgment by revealing what lies beneath the veil. The servant's divine appointment is placed within the mother book, and the authority bestow upon the remembrance. Reading question: how does Surah 31 answer public judgment? By revealing the hidden might of the servant.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Surah 31, Surah of Might. Okay, verse 1. And certain women within the city said, the wife of Aziz seeketh to entice her young attendant away from himself. He hath indeed enraptured her. Verily, we behold her clearly in air. Then, let's see, I'm going to read 4 through 9. Verily, God hath placed naught between us and our devoted servant in accordance with the truth, even as much as a thin veil. So here is that that thin veil it was talking about in the lens. Yea, verily, we brought him nigh unto us, and we raised him supremely above those who sought after me. We did indeed bear witness unto him on the day of the beginning by that which God himself bore witness unto him in our regard, that verily he hath ever been the devoted servant of God in very truth, nigh unto the fire, enthralled in praiseworthy exaltation. I bear witness by God, even as he hath
Yes.
borne witness unto his own self, that verily he was indeed amongst our adherents on the day
Yeah.
when there was not in all existence,
Yeah.
within the presence of God, the Lord of all the worlds, in accordance with the truth, other than us. I bear witness by God that there was never a time, nor even for a day, nor an age, in which he was not mentioned by God within the mother book. Know ye, O devoted servants of God, that God hath indeed appointed his cause in accordance with the truth, mighty within the mother book. 15 through 21. Yea, verily, we appointed him a vesture from the garments of the beginning, luminous over all the worlds. Yea, verily, we appointed him at the point of the seal, speaking forth from the station of the beginning, alone and unassisted in accordance with the truth, zealously. Yea, verily, we appointed him were the faithful servants amongst the people of the Báb, oft forgiving, most merciful. Lo, verily, God clothed him with the robe of majesty for the sake of truth, that he might bear witness of God unto the people in the robe of grandeur, in very truth. For verily, your Lord, the most gracious, hath ever been in very truth self-sufficient above all the worlds. O devoted servants of God, be mindful of God, and be the best of those who render assistance unto God within the precincts of the gate, in praiseworthy exaltation. Yea, verily, God hath appointed their remembrance foremost amongst the people, even before the condition of their very own selves. For God hath ever been a witness over all things. Lo, verily, God hath ordained for thee, as a recompense for being patient with us, as befitteth the truth, a kingship such as befitteth none save thee. For thou hast ever been through us knowledgeable, as befitteth the truth. Then 40 through 42. O solace of mine eye, close not thy hand upon the mystery of thine own self, nor spread it forth entirely concerning thy cause, lest the people gather around the most exalted gate, in very truth, overwhelmed by the mystery and bewildered thereby. Verily, God hath not ordained the pathway for any soul into the gate, save after the dawning of its day, through the currents of its delivery from all the veils of glory, and subtle illusions gathered thereby. The women of Medina, amongst the people of the veils of glory, said, verily, the Spirit, which is indeed the token of the most gracious, by his mighty command, seeketh to entice for itself the cause of its Lord, through himself, for he hath indeed enraptured it. Behold, we see it in air of that which is beloved within the mother book. Okay, so here I think it's kind of hitting at some of the illusions that if we go back to this previous surah, one of the verses from the Quran that's quoted here is was in Greek. Our cause, God hath made our cause but a single cause, like the twinkling of an eye. Okay, and then so this surah here is about the cause, and in the previous surah was about proclamation. And so the women of the city, they say to Joseph, or they speak, verily the Spirit, which is indeed the token of the most gracious by his mighty command, seeketh to entice for itself the cause of its Lord through himself, for he hath indeed enraptured it. So here they're making an allusion to the wife of Aziz as being the cause. Okay. And through that, Joseph is enticing the woman because his beauty, in his perfection, even as we're talking about what is the sin of Joseph. So I think that it's not necessarily the sin of Joseph or that's really being highlighted, but the potential of claiming the cause for himself, or the manifestation claiming the cause for himself rather than for God. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's happening here. And, if we study these and put these illusions together, and trace what's real, what the allusions from the Quran, what the women are saying from the Quran, and what the Báb is putting out in the Qayyumu'l-Asma about that. And even in the next surah, it kind of hits on a little bit, I think, in the beginning, which we can get into. Is there any questions about what we just read here in this surah?
So do
I
you?
have a couple.
Go ahead, Peggy, and we'll come back to Bill.
Okay.
Okay. So do you suggest that the wife was drawn to Joseph through his spirituality?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because in this case, okay, so we're not going to limit the saying the woman means this, okay? But in one aspect, the woman can is the woman has always been a symbol for wisdom, Sophia and whatnot, and for the cause of God itself. Even the woman with 12 stars, who's in travail, bringing forth the man child, which represents the Báb in this whole scenario that we're talking about here. But I think that the allusions are, this is a proclamatory stage of the Qayyumu'l-Asma for the Báb. Okay, so the whole book is about the Báb in one aspect. So everything about it is directed to him. It's a book to him, about his cause. So some of the warnings are delivered through him to us. And almost how Abdul Baha explains how some of the negative things that are referred to of the prophets, they really refer to the people.
Yeah.
And you can trace that in some answered questions. And I think that just, because of the positioning of these surahs, alongside the surah of Joseph, along with the flow and how it crosses with the mission of the Báb. I get the feeling myself that that's what's happening here. So yeah, she was attracted to his inner beauty, his spirituality.
Thank you.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah, you kind of said what I was thinking of, that I think it's also in the Quran that sometimes a prophet will be scolded by God, but it's out of mercy for the people, not to scold them directly. And I think one story, if I remember the details, is at the well of Nineveh, before they got to the promised land and Moses with the people, and he obtained water, and God, I think, punished him for it. So he wasn't allowed to go into the Holy Land. But if you really look at it, God wasn't blaming him or punishing. He took on the disobedience of the people. Or more directly, Jesus was scolded. Well, he took on the sins of humanity, so out of the mercy of God, sometimes the manifestation will take on kind of the scolding, but it's also a test for the people. Like Moses killed him.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, and I think Baha'u'llah goes into this in the Kitab-i-Iqan.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this earlier I was trying to find it, but I think it's in Surah 3. I could be wrong, but it was when it was talking about the clerics, the one you didn't like, but the message to the clerics was not to set up a rival gate to this Báb.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to and this goes into the same thing that within the faith we have covenant breakers and here, there, whatnot, or all the history of whatever. It's because these people, whoever it is, want to come in and take over and say, right. And so that whole behavior is being condemned, and it has to be condemned from the top down. Right? God is the one who is the author of our faith, not the Báb.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, so let's make that clear. The Báb is the gate to God, right? Not the gate to, we have a lot of different things, in this book to answer several things. later in the book, we'll get into the fuller proclamation of and the identity of the Báb, because see, now it's just starting to come to the Báb and through the Báb now in this story. So, getting to a full finger pointing identity is jumping the gun a little bit here. But,
To your idea, I think because the Christians got it wrong, many of them, and started to worship Jesus as God, but that Prophet Muhammad said there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet. So people wouldn't start worshiping him the way Christians started worshiping Jesus.
Yeah. Well, this is the main part of the book that we're in right now, which is this part of the cave, the Surah of the cave, from the Quran, and it opens up with with what you're just talking about. But it's Muhammad facing those Christians, okay, face to face. So what is he supposed to say? I'm the Son of God. Is that what they expected him to say?
No.
No. So it's not the fact that the Bible says that Jesus is the Son of God that the Quran is condemning. No, it knows that the Word of God says what it says, and it says that you have to abide by what that says. And if you don't believe what he says, to go check it. What he condemns is that behavior that he sees right in front of him, that we believe in the Son of God, we don't need you. But he's the prophet of God for God, sent by God. So they're telling God, we don't need you. So what are they supposed to do? What's God supposed to do? He's supposed to tell him, oh, I'm the Son of God instead, and he'll just follow their program? No. No, God makes the program. It's for us to get in line with our beliefs. And that's what is referred to right in here in this, at the end of this surah, what he was talking about as that those veils of glory. And those are those terms that Baha'u'llah, and that's why he used those, this term in this case, in this surah, because those terms, like the seal of the prophets, the Son of God, the prophet of God, whatever name we attach to any manifestation of God, is that veil of glory that we have to pierce through to see the return.
If I could assume, this is a kind of a specific reference, which I heard this recently, that in Psalms 2.7, David said that he is a son of God begotten by God. So when it says Jesus is the only begotten Son of God, Psalm 2.7 offers David claiming to be a begotten Son of God.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the same thing like with the maidens. Okay, it's a referential. It's about station. It's not about identity. Right? It's not about particular identity. It's about station.
Yeah.
So a name fits a station, and a name changes. If you don't get with it, you get left behind. That's okay. So, okay, Peggy, can you read Reading Lens 5 for us?
Yes. Reading Lens 5, Life Encounter and the Sea of Thick Blood. Main idea. The Surah 32 begins by bringing the women from speech into direct encounter. The wife of the Aziz prepares the banquet and gives each woman a knife. When Joseph appears before them, they are struck with amazement, cut their hands, and confess that he is no ordinary mortal, but a noble angel. What has spoken about from a distance in Surah 31 is now seen. Ordinary measure collapses before encounter. The Surah speaks of trees upon the sixfold temple within the threefold, raised into the heaven of the throne. Later, it speaks of the threefold form within a figure of the fourfold. This matter because the book names these forms itself. The threefold and fourfold are not imposed from outside the text. They appear inside the revealed language, where structure becomes part of the revelation's own self-disclosure. Life then turns into blood. The threefold and fourfold forms stand within a sea of thick blood. The unit moves from structure into sacrifice, from form into witness, from living geometry into living suffering. The sea of blood marks judgment and the threshold of martyrdom. The movement then opens into decree, patience, the blood of the self, Áshúrá, weapons, and Ḥusayn. This is the fulfillment of what the maiden anticipated in Súrah 29, when paradise longed for the souls slain in the path of the youth. The maiden's heavenly yearning becomes the martyrdom field of Súrah 32. Beauty descends at the beginning of the unit. Blood bears witness at the end. Key themes. Life names revelation as vital, active, and embodied. The book itself speaks of sixfold, threefold, and fourfold forms. Structure becomes a veiled sign, not an external system. The sea of thick blood joins water, fire, judgment, and sacrifice. The movement passes into decree, patience, Áshúrá, and Ḥusayn. The maiden's longing for the slain one is fulfilled in the martyrdom field. Living revelation becomes visible through witness and sacrifice. Arabic watchwords. Heya, living, alive, divinely quickened. Heikal, temple, form, embodied structure. Tathlith, threefold form. Tarbi, fourfold figure or form. Behar, sea, depth, expanse, field of judgment. Dam, blood, sacrifice, testimony through suffering. Sabar, patient, steadfast endurance. Áshúrá, the 10th, the day of Husayn's martyrdom. Husayn, the martyred Imam, suffered sacred sufferer, witness through blood. For the reader, life teaches that form alone is not enough. The book may disclose threefold and fourfold structures, but those forms become living through witness. The geometry burns, the sea thickens with blood, the hidden Joseph opens into Husayn, the youth proclaimed by the maiden is now approached through sacrifice. Reading question, how does Súrah 32 turn structure into living witness?
Thank you. Okay, Surah 32, Surah of Life. Verse 1, when she heard of their cunning, she sent for them and prepared a banquet for them, giving to each a knife, and saying, go forth before them. And when they beheld him, they were struck with amazement and cut their hands, exclaiming, far be it from God. This is no mortal, this is none but a noble angel. So the woman, the wife of Aziz, who was accused, of coming after Joseph, now she calls and prepares a banquet for the women of the city, and try to say, see, y'all come and look at him. I'm guiltless, So and then they see for themselves, they see, like we were saying before, the true spirituality, the inner beauty of Joseph. And they say, far be it from God, this is no mortal, this is none but a noble angel. Hey, Will, how are you today? Are you able to read? Can you see on here? Would you like to read? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm just in a cafe at the moment, so it might be a bit noisy going.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to read verses 3 through 5 here. A remembrance of the past. You okay? Do you want to read?
Yeah.
read verses 3 through 5, and then we're going to skip to 28 and 30, and then, well, just 28 through 41. You can just finish it off. So 3 through 5, and then we'll skip to 28.
All right, dope. A remembrance of the power of God within the a remembrance of the power of God within the most great word. This is the youth of whom the faithful, in accordance with the truth, have said, the most sublime. Say, he is the one true God. There is none other God except him. Neither slumber nor sleep overtake him. It is he who hath fashioned the devoted servants through his power. A grace as befitteth the truth concerning the cause of the Báb, for God hath ever been a witness of all things. Yea, verily, with our very own hands have we planted trees within the garden of eternity by this most great remembrance, this youth upon the holy land, around the sixfold temple, raised threefold unto the heaven of the celestial throne, perfumed and wafting with the most sweet fragrance.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to draw attention just real quick here to some of the methods that the Báb uses to quote these verses. And this is a very important verse from the Quran because it is verse is considered the verse of the throne. It is from Surah 2, verse 255 from the Quran. And okay, if we go back to let's see, what was it? 29, 31. There was the other part of this verse quoted. Right here. And this was from Surah, what we just read, Surah 29 from the Celestial Maidens. So the surah that opened this unit, he quotes the first part of the surah of the throne with it begins with saying God, the living, the self-subsisting. That's how the verse opens up in the Quran. Okay. And so he quotes this here. And then when we get to Surah 32, which Kayvon just read, he quotes the second part of that verse. Right here. He says, he is the one true God. There was none other God except him. Neither slumber nor sleep overtake him. So it cuts the verse in half. Okay. And the important thing about that is that this surah carries the title of the living. I have it as life, but it is literally al-Hayy, the same as it is in the verse of the throne. So it cuts the verse in half and then uses the title, uses the name that is attached from the first half to this surah, and then quotes the second half of the verse or a second part of the verse here. Okay, so structurally he's using the title, the surah, the verse from the Quran split in half between two surahs and connecting it with the title of one of them, which is pretty neat. Okay, so back down here to 28. Okay, and you can finish this surah out here. Right here.
From 28. Okay.
Mhm.
God hath not appointed you before our devoted servant, save in the threefold form upon the fourfold figure, within the sea of thick blood, which hath ever been extant nigh unto the gate. O ye faithful ones, if ye know not of his decree, we shall instruct you from his statute, through his patience. For verily the judgment within the mother book hath ever been mighty indeed. Be ye mindful of God, and approach him not with comparisons unto your very own flesh and blood. For verily he hath ever been through the decree of the through the decree of all wise. I think it should be the all wise.
Yeah, the all wise. I left out the definite article there.
Of the all wise, as befitteth the truth, the supreme testimony, When the sister of Ḥusayn heard of the plight of the adherents of his grandfather upon the day of Áshúrá, they were estranged from God, he beside whom there is none other God except him. She sent unto their souls a sign of love, and she prepared for them the means of war, and to each of them she gave a sword, enfolded within the cause of the one true God. Then he said, O my sister, manifest but the merest tip of a needle of thy majesty unto them, for the sake of God, he beside whom there is none other God except him. For verily he hath ever been self-sufficient above all the worlds. When they beheld him, they were struck with amazement by him, and rent themselves asunder before him, yearning for God, he beside whom there is none other God except him. For verily he hath ever encompassed all the worlds. And they exclaimed, Far be it from God, this Ḥusayn, this most exalted mystery of God, is no mortal. Lo, this verily is a truth. This is an angel who hath ever been noble over the inhabitants of the heavens and the earth, in accordance with the truth. O people of the cloud, say not of those who seek God, and approach him through his gate. Lo, these are enamored with a handsome Arabian youth. They are enraptured away from themselves by his very soul. Verily, we behold them clearly in error, bereft of the truth. Verily, that is but a cunning deceit from the depths of your own souls. Ere long shall we lift the veil from you, after we have prepared a banquet beyond the crimson pavilions. And we have granted unto each of you a sword with a verdant hue, that hath indeed illumined all the worlds. Ere long shall God say unto our remembrance, Go forth with the beauty of thy Lord unto the creation, but with the merest tip of a needle, as befitteth the truth.
This second, this is another a reference to that same one that I called back to when it says our cause is but one. It uses this same, like the bashing or like the twinkling of an eye. So it's a similar reference to the shortness of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thank you. Thereupon shall they be struck with amazement, and they shall rend themselves asunder, cleaving their hands with the two-edged blade. For indeed they said, Far be it from God, this is no mortal. Lo, this verily is he who moveth upon the earth by the leave of God, for he is a true one from God, in accordance with the truth. For verily he hath ever been within the mother book a noble angel. And should ye enter into the deep recess of divine oneness by the pathways of the gate, ye shall indeed bear witness of your very souls, cutting themselves for the sake of the one true God, in very truth, for God hath ever been most merciful with his faithful servants.
So you can see the surah calls deep attention to the spirituality of Joseph and into ourselves. And if we gaze upon him, do we will cut our own souls up to sacrifice for him. So some of the hesitation is what we were talking about is and even that in those veils of glory and those terms is having an over infatuation with the manifestation, and so much that you miss God, and that you sacrifice yourself for the manifestation of God, but unnecessarily perhaps. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of a warning in that. Okay, reading lens 6, reading the four together. Main idea. Unit 8 moves through 4 connected questions. Celestial Maidens, how does beauty descend from paradise and bear witness to the Arabian youth? Report, what happens once the revealed cause has been made known? Might, how does divine appointment answer judgment made from outside the veil? Life, how does direct encounter become revealed form through blood, patience, and sacrifice? Together, these four surahs carry the mission through a heavenly witness, report, public judgment, hidden authority, encounter, form, and sacrifice. The movement is proof, etiquette, heavenly proclamation, report, response, city speech, might, encounter, life, and blood. For the reader, Unit 8 is the movement from the garment's proof to the blood's witness. Between them stand the house, the maiden, the report, the city, and the hidden station of the servant, the woman's encounter with Joseph, the forms, and Ḥusayn. Final reflection for Unit 8, Surahs 29 through 32 carry the mission from household proof into living witness. The rent garment has exposed the conniving, but proof must now enter the world. The celestial maiden descends from paradise and bears witness to the Arabian youth. Her beauty proclaims what earthly eyes have not yet understood. The report then places the sign, cause, book, gate, and remembrance before the people and demands recognition and response. The women of the city enter in Surah 31, speaking concerning Joseph from a distance. Their judgment is answered through veil, nearness, divine appointment, witness, and the hidden might of the servant. In Surah 32, distance ends. The women behold Joseph, cut their hands, and confess that ordinary human measure has failed. Life then gathers the encounter into the sixfold, threefold, and fourfold forms before carrying the movement into the sea of thick blood. Decree, patience, Áshúrá, and Ḥusayn. The garment showed the truth. The maiden proclaimed it. The report made it known. Might unveiled its hidden authority. Life brought it into encounter and blood. Looking ahead, Surahs 33 through 36. Main themes: support. Surah 33 begins with the wife of the Aziz openly identifying Joseph as the one concerning whom the woman had blamed her. She declares that she sought to seduce him, yet he stood fast. Watch how steadfastness, opposition, the revealed book, divine aid, and the protection of the cause gather around the meaning of support. Illusion. Surah 34 begins with Joseph declaring prison dearer than that whereunto the woman summoned him. Watch how illusion, concealment, trial, prison, the revealed verses, and the hidden meaning of the cause begin to draw the Joseph story toward interpretation. Utter devotion. Surah 35 begins with Joseph's Lord, when Joseph's Lord answers him and turns away their plot. Watch how devotion, the path, the most pure faith, following the remembrance, humility, servitude, and divine communion shape the response of the faithful. Justice. Surah 36 begins when imprisonment follows after the signs have already been seen. Watch how justice gathers book, evidence, balance, reckoning, judgment, resurrection, and the distinction between divine measure and human reaction. The story moving forward. Unit 8 moved from proof into heavenly witness. Report, public judgment, hidden might, encounter, and blood. Unit 9 begins with Joseph standing fast before the threat of imprisonment. Support, illusion, utter devotion, and justice carry the story from steadfast resistance toward prison, hidden meaning, faithful response, and judgment. The hidden Joseph has now been vindicated, reported, beheld, and drawn into the field of Ḥusayn. The next unit begins to show how divine support, illusion, utter devotion, and justice answer that witness. Reading assignment for session 10. Read Surahs 33, 34, 35, and 36 of the Qayyumu'l-Asma. As you read, mark places where the movement passes through support, illusion, utter devotion, or justice. Watch especially for steadfastness, prison, divine aid, book, gate, path, most pure faith, remembrance, servitude, evidence, balance, judgment, and resurrection. Watch especially for how the witness of Ḥusayn in Surah 32 prepares the book to speak of support. All right. Thanks, guys. Any comments, questions?
No, thank you. And
Thank you very much. It was wonderful.
Allow Paul.
Thank you. And we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for coming, Will.